With the arrival of the new millennium comes new challenges for all of us. Global warming issues not only concern the academic and research communities, people around the world also struggle to deal with the new reality of increasingly destructive and more frequent natural disasters. Irregular weather patterns trigger large-scale ecosystem breakdown, causing disasters of all kinds. Major flooding in the US Midwest, Southeast Asia, and European countries, rampage wildfires in California and Australia, severe droughts in Africa, monster hurricanes such as Katrina and Rita in the Atlantic Ocean, just to name a few. Racing to deal with these disasters of unprecedented scale and frequency, government agencies and disaster relief organizations around the world are stretched thin, and relief resources are quickly running low. Everyone is struggling to find a better way to cope with such dire situations. At this critical moment, new kinds of thinking and paradigms in disaster relief frameworks have emerged. Green initiatives and sustainable lifestyles are now integrated into every step of the disaster relief practices. That is, when we do disaster relief missions, we should not cause another environmental disaster by producing more toxic pollution and excessive waste into the disaster-stricken areas, taxing already fragile local ecosystems. And the long-term recovery plan should take its environmental impacts into considerations in order to restore a balanced ecosystem that is not only good for human species, but also good for all living beings. Tzu Chi Foundation, with more than 40 years' experience in both disaster relief and environmental protection efforts, is one of the early pioneers and advocates to bring such new sustainable green initiatives into disaster relief paradigm. To people who are accustomed to modern industrialized lifestyle, environmental protection practices may not come naturally. To achieve the goal of coexisting with Mother Nature and to live a lifestyle that is harmonious with our ecosystems, we need to make changes in our daily behaviors and how we consume the limited natural resources on Earth. The reduce, reuse, and recycle concept is the fundamental paradigm where all the green initiatives are based upon. In Tzu Chi's disaster relief missions, we do the same. Several recent Tzu Chi disaster relief efforts around the globe can better illustrate how Tzu Chi Foundation integrates green initiatives into the frameworks of its disaster relief mission. Tzu Chi's repurposed environmental blankets are an example of how Tzu Chi integrates the framework of reduce, reuse, and recycle into its disaster relief efforts. Each blanket is made from 70 plastic bottles recycled by Tzu Chi volunteers. The blankets are given to disaster victims during relief work to give them warmth and to demonstrate the importance of recycling. These comfortable blankets are the brainchild of the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Aid Association in Taiwan. When the earthquake registered magnitude 8 hit China's Sichuan province in May 2008, at least 80,000 lives were lost, tens of thousands wounded, and an estimated 5 million people are affected by the aftermaths of the quakes. Within hours of the first strike, Tzu Chi Foundation immediately mobilized its volunteers in China and around the world, rushing to help out in the stricken areas. In the next 8 months, many groups of volunteers take turns to participate in different phases of the recovery plan. In the first stage, Tzu Chi volunteers set up temporary shelters with medical stations and immediate provision of hot meals. The hot meals provided are all vegetarian dishes. Instead of using disposable plates, Tzu Chi provides everyone with reusable dining wares and chopsticks, eliminating tons of trash that would have otherwise polluted the already hazardous environment, causing greater public health concerns. Temporary housings are also under construction, providing residents with much-needed home environment. Tzu Chi also enlisted many residents to become volunteers in the relief operations. By helping out their fellow residents, disaster victims can turn their mindsets from being a victim to being a giver. Rather than drowning in their sorrows and griefs, Tzu Chi intends to bring them back on their feet with inspiration and hope. In the next stage, Tzu Chi starts to work with local and regional governments, conducting long-term recovery plans, including the construction of several schools and community centers for residents. Education and community fellowship is a major part in Tzu Chi's long-term recovery planning. A successful case of Tzu Chi Foundation's long-term recovery plan can also be found in Jakarta, Indonesia, where a shabby slum community along the highly polluted Angke River caused severe flooding in 2002. Tzu Chi volunteers once again worked side by side with local residents and government agencies, spending almost 2 years to clean up the Angke River along the slum. 1,100 units of well-designed and beautiful new housing were also built for residents previously living in the filthy and poverty-stricken environments. This is the Tzu Chi Great Love Village with its own schools, medical clinics, and community centers. How do the residents feel about all the efforts Tzu Chi volunteers have done? The smiles on their faces tell it all. When one walks into any of the buildings designed and built by Tzu Chi Foundation, one can easily recognize that it's an environmentally friendly green building. Its inviting, bright, and airy designs greatly reduce energy consumption, and is designed with respect to the building's geographic surroundings. All the buildings recycle water and use earth-friendly materials and construction methods. Most importantly, they're built to last. Besides all the efforts put into hardware, Tzu Chi Foundation also takes care of people's physical and emotional needs. Here in South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers devised long-term relief efforts involving schooling for children, skill training for housewives, and long-term caring programs for seriously ill villagers. As the old wisdom goes, the best way to help people is not to give them fish, but to teach them how to fish. When children get educated and people develop skills to make better livings, then even the most underprivileged can have the ability to extend their love and care to others in need. This will help boost their self-esteem, thus building a more harmonious society and eliminating potential hiccups in the community. To achieve a new sustainable green disaster relief paradigm, we need coordination and partnerships across all disaster relief agencies. Partnerships are also formed among Tzu Chi Foundation, FEMA, and many regional and local government disaster response teams. Tzu Chi is constantly looking to establish better and closer partnerships with agencies from both private and public sectors. With global warming continues to intensify, major disasters are bound to happen more and more frequently. Switching to a sustainable green lifestyle is the most significant solution. Changes must be carried out in every level of the society, from individual to government, and from country to country. Everyone must contribute. To save our precious Mother Earth, to give our future generations and ourselves a better place to live, we must act now. The clock is ticking, the stake is high, so everyone must face the serious question: when the next big one hits, are you ready?